January 1st. I hope you're all well. Happy New Year's Day. Here's to a healthy and a less manic year ahead. And welcome. My name is Chanel and this is my YouTube channel about all my yarny adventures. Today is January 1st. Happy New Year to you all. I hope you're all well. I hope that you enjoyed your festivities if you celebrated last night. Unfortunately, I didn't. I'm still suffering with the flu, so do excuse me if I start coughing or spluttering or sneezing. But I wanted to start the new year off with a first video on a wrap up of last year and also on all my Advent knitting progress. So let's start. I can't remember if I told you, my name's Chanel. I'm Mama of Yarn and you can find me on here, Instagram and Ravelry as Mama of Yarn. All the links are in the description below to all my projects, all my yarn dyers that I use, any project bags that I use, all that wonderful good stuff that we like to know and find all the information about is right down there. So excuse me. To start with, I hope you all are well and healthy, and let's have a little peek on my Advent knitting progress so far. So my Yarn Whisperer Advent socks, they are all finished now. Look at those. Aren't they beautiful? So I have 20 rows for the cuff on a 2x2 rib. Each of the days along the leg and foot I did 6 rounds for each. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 for the leg. On the 14th I did 3, then added my slip stitch heel flap, then the additional 3, then 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and then the contrast toe. These were knit on a 2.25mm 9-inch Chow Goose circular, and they are stunning, absolutely stunning. I'm so pleased with those. Each 6 rounds took 2 grams for both socks. So the total weight of these socks were 74 grams total, including the cuffs, heels and toes in a contrast. So a beautiful scrappy project if you've got any leftover Advent yarn. And I am thrilled. Kitey is going to be over the moon when he receives those. I did those as a sample knit for him. So let's take those off. Then I had my Yarn Badger Advent socks. I'll quickly slip these on a blocker. I know I have shown them in my Vlogmas, but for those that haven't seen my Vlogmas, I will just pop them on the blockers now. So these were the Advent skein by the Yarn Badger, and I knit those. That's the 12-day stripes with the contrast in between for each of the days, and I have enough yarn left over to knit another pair of those. I absolutely love them. They're a little bit saggy because I have worn those, and they need another little wash and block. And if I just show you, just here, that was the Yarn Badger, and these are my leftovers. Ooh. So there's plenty, oh my goodness, excuse me, plenty to knit another project out of. Perfect for a little pick-me-up later on. Now, oh, excuse me, a little bit out of sorts at the moment. With my Advent from Kitey, the Yarn Whisperer, it's in here, and I have started knitting the Aurora Cabin Shawl High Knit Along by Stephen West Knits. I've gone through the pattern and split the whole pattern into each of the days of the Advent, and here it is at the moment. Look how amazing that is looking. I appreciate that it's not to everyone's taste, but Advents and Stephen West to me go hand in hand. The crazier, the better. So if I hold it up, whoop, that way, there it is at the moment. So this was section 1, excuse me, from here to here. And I knit that just in days 1 and 2. And now I'm using the next 5 for section 2. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm enjoying knitting this so much. I'm going to obviously link all my pattern project pages down below so you can have a look. I'll note exactly what I'm doing just in case anyone else wants to have a go using their Advents and using the, for this pattern. I'll link what rows I've used on certain days. And that is that Advent, which leaves us to the last Advent, the Woolly Mama Yarn Advent. And for this, I'm knitting the Adventure Quest. Now this is a little bit more heavy going. It's taking so much brain space because the whole thing is lace work and brioche work. But I think I'm up to day 11 at the moment. What's the best way? I think maybe that way to show you. And here it is so far. So we've got all this beautiful lace work here. Look at all these colours. Ooh. It is absolutely beautiful. It's huge at the moment and I'm not even halfway, so let's scrunch and give you a quick view of that. And there it is, it's massive. Absolute pleasure to knit, but definitely not one to knit if you can't fully concentrate and you've got a bit of a headache, which I've had for the last 6 days with the flu, so it's not had any work on it yet. But absolutely beautiful, a really enjoyable pattern to knit, and I can highly recommend that. And that is just the updates for my Advent knitting. So how are you all getting on with your Advent knitting? I'd love to hear about it. Please do drop a comment below if you're still working. Have you finished? Have you even started? Are you starting in the new year with all your Advent knitting? I love to sort of start a good big project with my Advents and takes me through January, possibly sometimes into February. That way you get to enjoy it and you don't have to worry about the stress of Christmas and everything that's going on. You can just take a breath and slowly enjoy it. Now let's head on to my year in a wrap-up. Here is my project journal. Every year I produce one of these little project journals. It just has all my notes about the project. Let's have a look. Pictures of projects that I've worked on. So just out of curiosity for people that would like to know, obviously I've only just started my YouTube channel, so you haven't been following along or anything, but my yearly review, I've made 64 projects. 36 of those were socks, 5 were cardigans or sweaters, 2 hats, 6 shawls, 5 crochet toys, 3 lots of Terry's chocolate orange covers for my Nana for different seasons. So I had Christmas puddings for Christmas. I also did little chicks for Easter, and there was one other lot, I can't remember what it was, but another lot for her. I've made a cowl, one set of 7 crochet festival earrings for my daughter's friend, 2 crochet blankets, 2 Christmas stockings, and a crocheted bag. Out of all of those, 11 of them were pattern tests, which were stunning. I thoroughly enjoy pattern testing, so if you're a designer and you need anything pattern tested, do just always pop me a comment, send out some information, and I'll be happy to test for you. Happy to test. And in total, I have used 36,801 yards this year. Absolutely amazing. So with that, I'm going to then start this year's journal. Look at the difference. We've got nothing in it at the moment. And I'm hoping to set myself some goals. So goals this year, I'm going to take part in the Vista Dyeworks 9th annual knit along, where each month you knit a pair of socks in a skein of her yarn, and I think in each of the quarters you're given a incentive to continue to the next quarter. So I'm going to take part in that. I haven't decided yet which yarn to use, but I have picked 3 from my stash to show you. So this is, oh, let's have a look. There it is, Vista Dyeworks, and this one is Stranger Things 2, Season 2. Don't know whether to use that. Beautiful pinks, purples, blues, reds. Or I have Stranger Things Season 3, which is beautiful as well. Pinks, yellows, blues, blacks, greens, turquoises. Absolutely beautiful, stunning. Or, excuse me, Bad Romeo. But I'm wondering whether to keep this one for next month. Pinks, purples, reds, blues. This is more Valentine's-y, so I might keep that one for February. But I will link Susan down below and her yarn. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It's all striping. I forgot to say that if you haven't heard of her before, her yarn is all stripes. So this one is self-striping. It doesn't actually say how many stripes, but I'm wondering which one to use. I don't know. Have to decide later on today and get that photographed. I will also link to the Ravelry group about her crochet along for the year, just in case anyone's wondering. I'll pop that down below. And I think that is everything. Also, just in case people wanted to see, with the leftover scraps, I add them to my Cozy Memories blanket. Which I will link below the pattern. It's just a simple little square that's added to the blanket as I go. So what have you all been up to? I'm still suffering, 6 days now. It's an absolute nightmare, but I'm getting there. I'd love to hear what you've all been up to. I hope you're all well. This is just a quick one because obviously I'm still suffering and I haven't got any, haven't made any notes or plans or anything to talk about today. But once the year gets on and I start feeling a bit better, I'll get a bit more organised and you'll know how the layout works. I normally do finished objects, works in progress, some goals, some planning knits or crochets and things like that, anything that I've come across that I'd like to share with you. But I hope you're all well. I wish you a very nice relaxy day. Take care. Until we meet again, happy crafting.